This is episode 45 with Barry Rudin.
Your word is everything. Never burn a bridge. Treat people the way you want to be treated. I mean, if you're honest and you do what you say and you're reliable and you're consistent, the tortoise always beats the hare.
This is the Sports Business Classroom audio experience. If you recognize the voice, let me put a name with it. I'm Bo Estes, a host on NBA TV and an announcer on NBA.com. I'm one of the instructors at SBC. Welcome to the show. Now, breaking into the world of sports can seem daunting, but if you're looking for a leg up, you've come to the right place. Each week, we talk to top-notch figures all across the industry to bring you lessons and advice to learn from. Thanks for spending some time with us today, and let the experience begin. Landing a job in the NBA is no easy feat, no matter if it's as a player, front office exec, agent, or even in the league offices. But one surefire way to put yourself ahead of a competitive talent pool is an extensive knowledge of the collective bargaining agreement. And Larry Kuhn is undoubtedly, and I can't stress this enough, undoubtedly the leading expert on planet Earth on the subject, and he's been teaching the material to teams, agents, media, and students now for over 20 years. And for the first time ever, he has an online course containing all of his material available for purchase to the general public. CBA Mastery with Larry Kuhn is available on demand with no expiration, so you'll have access to this material whenever you need it. To learn more and enroll, please visit sportsbusinessclassroom.com today. The Sports Business Classroom audio experience is brought to you by Hall Pass Media and Hall Pass Studios. Hall Pass Media is a full-service marketing agency that specializes in brand consulting, event management, digital marketing, and creative design. Hall Pass has a wide range of clients and partners that include the NBA Summer League, the NBA Coaches Association, and the basketball tournament, just to name a few. For more information, please visit hallpassnetwork.com. Do you love the game of basketball? And do you ever wonder what goes on in the moments leading up to making a selection in the NBA draft or at the trade deadline? If so, let us take you there. The Sports Business Classroom Draft Academy will take place March 5th through the 10th and provide attendees with an immersive experience like no other. This virtual event will bring together some of the top professionals and decision makers in sports and place attendees in the exact same scenarios executives face in pressure situations. Courses and event exercises will focus on free agency, the draft, trade deadline, player evaluation, salary cap, and much, much more. So here's your chance to prove you have what it takes. Invest in your future. Sign up now and register at sportsbusinessclassroom.com. Over the course of hosting the Sports Business Classroom audio experience, I've had the good fortune of interviewing several industry leaders. And in each case, these individuals have been tasked with navigating the difficult path of getting their business or team through the unprecedented challenge of a global pandemic. And through the course of all of these interviews, I can think of no business hit harder than that of Barry Rudin's. You see, Rudin is the owner of Barry's Tickets, a company that makes its living acquiring and selling tickets to live sporting events and concerts. So when the global pandemic hit, his business just stopped. I mean, hit a brick wall, stopped. Nothing. In fact, the only thing they were doing was spending money processing refunds. And yet, nearly a year later, Barry Rudin is still optimistic about a future of live events that he sees as bright and robust. He shares that future and how he navigated the last 11 months to get there with us right now. All right, thanks so much for joining me. I'm excited to hear about your story, and I'm excited to dig into all the things that are going on now. But take me back a little bit, because I know that while you look like a young man, you were a really young man when you got started in this business. So give me a little bit of the background. Tell me the story.
So the first time I ever got involved with tickets And I sold stickers and candy and gum. I'd ride my bike before school and go to Pick and Save and come and sell stuff because I had to. It was the
Yep.
only way to get any money, have any money. And when I was 15 years old, my sister had dated a professional scalper, the guy with the sign, "Hey, I need tickets."
Oh.
She met him working at a shoe store, which he worked
Mhm.
at part time. But that's really what he did. His name was Orson. He was from Minnesota. And maybe some of the old time ticket brokers, if they ever hear this, they knew Orson.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
he dated him for a short period of time. He took me to the first game at the Forum, Los Angeles Inglewood
Yep.
Forum,
Yep.
where on the game that Magic Johnson came back from his first injury.
Oh,
So
okay.
big deal. I had never bought or sold tickets, and Inglewood isn't at nighttime the safest place in the world.
Sure.
But we were on the grounds
Okay.
and said, "Hey, just go around saying, hey, do you have extra tickets? Do you have extra tickets? And maybe pay this and then sell them for this." And he taught me really quick. Now, this was in 1979. I'm 56 years old.
Yep.
And I was 15. You could do the math.
I can.
Uh, my dad says I'm 29 and then it's just anniversaries, but he's full of it. Oh, he wasn't that one. I'm really 56. And I made $130 one night back when minimum wage, I think, was $2 an hour.
Does the light go on?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. And there too in the camera. But yes, I know it went on and go, wow, I like this. This is cool.
Yeah.
I already was doing okay. Like I got a job when I was 15. Then I was working at the car wash when I was 16. And, I did okay for a young kid.
Yep.
And I went door to door in the summers working for the American National Volleyball Association, whatever. I always tried to do whatever I could. But to make $130 in one night, it was like, wow.
It's a big deal.
The problem was I was 15 years old. I didn't have a car. And I lived 30 miles from Inglewood.
Okay.
So when I turned 16, luckily my stepdad lent me enough money to buy a car. I paid him back in 1 year by doing tickets.
Okay.
But I wasn't looking to be a professional scalper. I mean, I got regular jobs. It was just an experience that I had. Buy and sell tickets to get better seats.
Yep.
And then again, went to school, got good grades, was going to go away to college, to a UC campus. And my father had a stroke my senior year, so I couldn't go away. So the summer between high school and college, I went into a ticket agency, and a couple of them, and looking for a job. And they let me scalp their tickets for a little while. Like when they had leftovers.
Oh.
The problem was they'd give me like a third of the profit, where a professional scalper got half. And I got more money back because I was honest for them. and honestly, I was a clean cut, little kid. Somebody who's going there to buy tickets might feel a little more comfortable buying.
Oh, because you're a kid.
I was 15 years old, 16.
Yeah.
Then I was 17. Sorry, I was 17.
But you're a kid.
I'm a late bloomer. I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I started making good money. It was like even if it was $30, again, minimum wage was like maybe $2.25 by then. I'd go for a couple hours. It was pretty good. So I liked that. Then I didn't go away to college. And then October of 82, I still went to junior college, but instead of the UC campus, just because I had to adjust.
Okay.
And ended up later, I'll explain, but going to college. So October of 82, Neil Young went on sale at the Universal Amphitheater, which then became the Gibson, and
nice.
now is Harry Potter Land. And they sat you on the concrete, and they came around, and you put your hand in the bag, and you picked a number, and that was your number for waiting in line to buy tickets.
Okay.
So I went with my friend. I got number 75. He got number 80. I remember my tickets were 5mm, 11 to 16. They were $15 each. And there was a guy named Hal Ornstein, who I still know to today. And by the way, he owns the Ruby Slippers and he owns Marilyn's Dress. That's what Hal does now.
Really?
Yeah. He's an interesting guy. He paid me $27.50 ticket. I made $75 for like 3 hours of my time. I was like, wow, I like this. And then I saw what other people were doing. I decided, okay, let's get friends and hire people to wait in line for us. And then let's say you went to buy tickets. Everybody's allowed to buy 6 tickets. So you went with 5 friends, and you're going to buy 6 tickets. That's all you need. Most people don't think like a business person, especially
Yep.
when you go to a concert or anything. And so 2 out of the 6 of you get really good numbers, luckily, to do it. Well, I would pay you $20 to wait in line for me, give you the money to buy the tickets, and then resell them. So that's
Okay.
how it started. And then I started waiting in line and getting other people to wait in line. I even slept out overnight if I had to and hired people to do that. Our best story is one of my friends knew that on the Tunnel of Love tour, which was probably 1982 or 3,
Okay.
that time period, um, Bruce Spring, whoever's putting the tickets on sale, the promoter would announce 5 o'clock the night before that it was going on sale the next morning in whatever city. So
Yeah.
we flew to Detroit first. We went to a soup kitchen. We went back to our hotel. They waited in line. We came back in the morning, paid them, got the tickets, and we got a bunch of tickets in the first 10 rows and sold them. Then we flew to Maryland, which was a college town. There was thousands of people, and they didn't do first come first serve. You picked a number, and we did that. We made some money. So there's all kinds of different experiences, but that's how it started.
Barry, you seem, and I want to come back to this in a minute, but you seem like a natural born hustling guy, like a guy who's going to hustle.
I was a lot hungrier when I was younger.
Okay, well, weren't we all?
Yeah. But say I have as much hustle as I once did.
But it seems like that's something that was in you. So
Yeah.
before we get into everything with real broad stroke, tell me about the live event business. What is it exactly Barry's Tickets does? What's a perfect experience like?
Go see anything in the world, we can acquire the ticket for you. We have a great website, barrystickets.com, but our strength, where we're going to get you the best prices, the best of anything, is Southern California. Even though that's where we're going to get, because I'm the largest season ticket holder on all of the sports teams, every one, because I've been acquiring them over the last 40 years.
Yep.
9 years.
And building relationships, right?
And I have relationships with a lot of people in the professional sports and college sports. We've acquired season tickets at the Greek Theater, the Hollywood Bowl, and we have so many tentacles out there of other people who have season tickets, and they'll give them to us to sell for them, because it's not just our website. We upload our tickets to hundreds of sites, and if you gave us a ticket to sell, it's going to show up everywhere, and you're going to have the best chance of getting the most money for it.
Gotcha.
As well as we own the most tickets of anybody in Southern California for Southern California venues and events.
So your bread and butter is these live events, these live experiences. Take me back to March of 2020. You're in the live events business. The world is changed with COVID right away. And I've been thinking through all these interviews I've done, and I've talked to people. I can't think of a person that's more impacted by this from a business standpoint than you specifically. So what happens? What are your first responses? What are those moments like? And what are you going through?
So we're like, oh, okay. Oh, shoot. We got to return these. Oh, and it really wasn't until it got canceled when the Rudy Gobert got COVID.
The NBA game.
It was NBA, and they canceled it. And that was like, oh, now the closest thing we've had to this was 9/11 when they canceled events. But it came back in like 2 months.
Sure. And was that what you were thinking, Barry? Were you thinking this is a month? This is 2 months?
At first, I was thinking, what is this? Is it real? Is it a couple months? Whatever. Not politically real, just never experienced anything like that.
How's it going to impact your business?
Right. Once we realized that, it really was going to impact for quite some time, then it was just like, for example, we had our personal seat licenses, which is you're paying for the right to, it's almost like a timeshare for tickets, and you're paying for the right to buy those tickets. So our football tickets, we had to pay our subscriptions by February 28th. And then March, it's really about March 10th or 11th.
Yeah.
We realized, oh no, we're not even going to be able to sell these tickets. So we have millions of dollars out on tickets that we've already paid for season tickets for next year or for later in the fall, as well as what we had left over of the season. They can't. So we're March 11th, let's say, and the Lakers are in first place, and they've got LeBron James and Anthony Davis for the first year. They
Things
hadn't
are
been in
pretty
the
good.
7 years, and we're about to have, and we had a great January and February because we're selling these tickets like crazy. And the Clippers have the best team they've had in years.
Barry, you could have a Western Conference final in LA,
Yeah,
and you're the LA guy.
Western Conference. I'm the largest season ticket holder on both teams. I have a good relationship with lots of people, and we own suites and premier seats at Staples Center as well.
It's raining money right now.
It's going to be our biggest year we've ever had. The second biggest year was when the Dodgers went to the World Series for the first time after 28 years.
Okay.
And anyway, so it was only the first year because after that they took the season tickets from everyone and decided to do it themselves. So that's also could happen.
Yep.
So this was it. Perfect storm. We've got that. We've got the Dodgers being good. Canelo Alvarez is going to fight 3 times, and we are very strong with boxing. It's just perfect. I mean, he was going to fight Triple G in September, hopefully, of 2020. Anyway, all of these perfect things, and it is, oh no.
Oh my gosh.
And let me explain. When we sell the tickets, we buy them, we load them up on our system, we broadcast them everywhere, strategically.
Yep.
And they sell. We collect our money. Usually, if it's to an end user, we collect our money quickly. Well, all of a sudden now we have millions of tickets, and we have to return them.
Oh.
And we're waiting for the teams, waiting for Ticketmaster, waiting for Live Nation to actually give the refunds. In the meantime, we have no revenue. We have the same overhead.
Yep.
And you also have to understand, we sell a ticket anywhere from right after the game started or the event started to sometimes a year or more in advance. So all of our overhead, which was significant, 40 something employees, 3 offices, advertising, cloud services, everything. And there's no revenue coming in. And not only that, we have to return the profit on everything we sold for events after March 11th or March 10th, whatever the date was. So just the Kobe Bryant, unfortunate guy, he was the greatest, in my opinion. Great and a great guy. When that game against the Laker game, because LeBron wouldn't play after Kobe passed, got postponed. That one game, we had to return hundreds of thousands of dollars in profit. And most of those tickets were sold before March.
Oh, okay.
Like even last year. So it even affected our revenue from 2019. So it was tough. I've never lost money in the ticket business before in a year. And this, we lost as much as close to as much as our average year in profit. So we lost.
So let's say that again. You lost as much this year, 2020,
as we normally make in a year. Maybe we make a little more on average, but really close because we had we had overhead. We had to slowly lay off employees because we didn't know when it was going to happen.
You slowly laid off employees? Is that how it happened? Because I'm trying to figure out in your mind how that goes, like realizing it, the realization of everything.
Like, oh my God. And then let me keep them as long as I can.
Yeah.
Because who knows how long this is going to be. And then there's a thing called paid time off.
Yep.
And
PTO.
Employees bank that over time. So, okay, well, the average employee, I owe them for a month anyway. So, okay, we don't need these people right now. Use your PTO. That will be a month. And then luckily the government decided, and foolishly, because $600 extra a week was with the unemployment was more than some of the employees I paid.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, it was $1,050 a week. Not every employee gets $1,050 a week.
Sure.
It should have been 300 or 400 at the most.
Gotcha.
But and then not stop it so soon. It should have never stopped during COVID.
So that they could keep going.
Yeah, and then people could budget and pay rent, and instead some people were getting more money than they were making, and they started spending it on stupid stuff.
Yeah.
So that was a mistake, but that's politics.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then a few of the employees who were salaried that didn't get paid time off, I said, okay, I'll pay half your salary for a while. And then we realized, I can't just keep bleeding this much money. And then we had to, and and it was.
Are we in about June right now, Barry? Maybe
May,
roughly.
I think May.
Okay.
Somewhere in May, we tried to immediately apply for PPP,
Yep.
and we didn't get the first round because we were with one of the bigger banks. Bank of America is our banker. They're great, but they only got 10% of their people the PPP.
Wow.
In the first round.
Yep.
So we weren't there. We went to a smaller bank that we've dealt with, and we got it in the second round. So I hired everybody back because for two reasons. One, because some of them, they're better off not working, but I had to offer to hire them all back because that was the rules on forgiveness.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Loan forgiveness.
It made sense to do that. A month into it, they say, no, you could stretch it out. So then I laid everybody back off again, but I kept paying their medical. The one thing I did was for about 17 weeks, I paid their medical because I wanted everybody to have medical, but I couldn't afford, unless I wanted to go into all of my savings, to keep everybody.
Let me jump in right here. I've got to wonder if you, as a business owner, you're going through a tough stretch, a really tough stretch, but also you feel some responsibility to your employees as well. And that's sort of the situation you're in. Is that fair?
Yes. And certain ones more loyal than others.
Yep.
But I've been lucky. I have some great employees that I've kept the whole way through because I knew I needed them long term. And others, it's not like, only, by the way, when I offered everybody their job back, there's only two people who didn't take the job back with the PPP. And one of them is because he had the excuse of he still got as much money as I was paying him, and he had a baby, so he had daycare.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Makes sense.
Some of them were actually better off, again, saying no, but they couldn't.
Yeah.
Grateful when I laid them back off. Now they can do whatever they want, and they got $1,050 a week from the government.
Yeah.
Wow. For a while anyway.
Wow.
So it was a tough thing, not only giving refunds, but the thing that I didn't express properly was we also do full service phone answering and walking you through it, but most people buy now on the internet.
Yeah.
And it's automatic. But to return the tickets, it's like 3 extra steps. So it cost me more accounting money and time to return our tickets with no revenue coming in and we're paying interest to the bank on our credit line because we got.
So you have to have staff to give money back.
Yeah, I still have
You're
10.
paying staff to give money back.
I still have 12 or 13 employees right now, but I think 6 or 7 of them are very part-time.
Yeah.
Because and now in some states, Texas, Florida, they have partial events. I'm sure there's a few others, but we've sold some boxing in Texas. We sold some national championship tickets. And now obviously there's some Super Bowl, but we're not doing a huge Super Bowl business.
Does it feel good to start seeing money come in again, though? I mean, just even a little bit.
Yes, anything helps. Yeah, we have not had a month yet where we've been close to breaking even, but because we've had to lay people off, we've cut services.
Yeah,
we had. Anyway, we are losing less. Yeah. And now, thank goodness, we're in the portal to hopefully get more PPP. I'll be able to hire a few more people back for when it opens, because I do believe the light at the end of the tunnel is once things open back up, and let's say we get the herd immunity, or
people are going to go nuts.
People are going to go nuts.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, California and New York will probably be the last ones to have live events. But I pray for me, but pray for everyone in California, because we still have the Lakers Clippers 1 and 2 in the West.
Yeah.
Maybe by May, playoffs would start probably the 3rd week of May, if there's no delays, because the season ends May 16th.
Yeah.
It's possible that 150, 200 million could be immunized by then.
Yeah, no, I think that's realistic. I think that,
especially with the 2 new.
Yeah, today there's news of another one.
March. There's really no reason why everybody who wants to be immunized can't be immunized by May, sometime in May.
So I want to get this right. One of the quotes I read from you was this: you try and make the most out of opportunities in a crisis. If you can survive this, you'll come out with an edge. So Well, that's you. I hope you agree. It's a wonderful quote, Barry.
I still agree with it.
Yeah.
Stand by.
So I'm going to guess that the downtime, and I don't know that it was downtime, maybe you're just thinking about your business, gave you a moment to look at things and come up with a savvy approach and to sharpen your skills and to return even better. Is that fair? And what did you think of and what did you come up with?
Well, what we've done is we're in the process of a kind of merger,
Okay.
and which will make us much more efficient. We're in the process of instead of we're not 100% sure, but we're 98% there of having somebody else manage our website instead of doing it internally, and we'll just do our SEO, our search engine optimization, internal,
Yep.
and mainstream everything. So we're going to have a lower overhead and probably just almost a pay to play because we have to pay for somebody to manage our.
Yeah.
It should be smoother, easier, less headaches. Again, I'm in the latter half of my career, I would say.
You're on the back nine.
Yeah, and this business takes a lot out of you. If you really do it the way I used to do it, I worked 80 hours a week. I traveled to whatever Super Bowl city. We'd work 16 hours a day out of a hotel room.
Jeez.
The Final Four, World Series. I don't do that anymore. Now I don't miss workouts, and I have a normal life. But we're still the best in LA.
I think it's important for listeners to note that as Barry's telling me about these 80-hour work weeks, he's smiling. So I think you enjoyed the job. I think you enjoyed the ride.
My fiance and should-be wife, if it wasn't for COVID,
Yeah.
She always makes fun of me when she's talking to friends. Yeah, he did this, but he's still smiling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lucky that I'm for whatever reason. Oh, what I was saying is I've been fortunate enough, and I recommend this to everybody in the world: live beneath your means. Don't get in debt.
Yeah.
I've never until this year. Well, 2 years. My divorce year, because that was very expensive, big checks. But she's a wonderful lady, and she's great with our kids. And this 2020, although 2020 I didn't spend more than I made because I thank God for the stock market, and thank God I downsized. I sold a bigger house, moved into a smaller one, and I sold a bunch of investments so that I could float.
Are you doing this as reaction to COVID, like in real time, trying to make calculations?
Well, not really. The stock market, yes, because all of a sudden I had time and I needed to do something. So I put and I've learned whenever the market takes a big hit, it's going to come back. So take your lump because you're not going to be able to time the market unless you're very lucky.
Yep.
But when it hits, if you have some money on the side, put more in because it's going to go up. So yes, in March, I pressed it, and thank God.
So you used another skill. You used another skill to hustle and get back. See, this goes back to the hustling thing I'm talking about. I think that's in you somewhere.
I'm good at counting.
Yeah. So let's get back into something we were talking about earlier. Personally, I can say, cooped up in my little place in Atlanta, I'm dying to get out and see live sports. I'm dying to go to a concert. What indications are you getting? How optimistic are you that it's all of a sudden when it happens, it's going to be a rushing river?
Well, so the events that we've sold in Texas, which is really for us just been boxing,
yep,
have sold incredibly well.
Okay.
Granted, in some cases there's less tickets, but it's really bigger venues and almost the same amount. Like Canelo's fighting in Miami to 14,000 people. Normally in a 70,000 seat venue. Normally he'd be fighting in Vegas in a 20,000 seat. So 14 to 20, it's close. But if he was fighting Triple G, it'd be off the hook. But it's still good. It's still strong. He's the best boxer right now. And the last few years, he's amazing. But and then we're selling concert tickets for events that are later this year. Now, are they selling like they would when it opens back up? No. But we're making a few sales every day. Justin Bieber in August is selling. This group, it's called Grupo Firme. I think it's mariachi. It's selling like crazy.
Great.
But and wait, we're selling tickets for March.
Really?
And it's at Staples Center all over the country. We bought tickets for it and selling, but people are buying March, and Staples Center will not be open in March, but they're buying them. I assume they know that it will get postponed and their ticket will be good for them. I assume that.
How do you handle that? I read on your website that it's sort of like it's a few different processes depending upon the event and the rules of the event. Generally, how's that handled?
Well, if it's postponed, their ticket is good for the next event. Now, if they say, well, we can't go that date, we need our money back, we have to give them their money back.
Yeah.
But we generally follow the rules of the promoter.
Okay.
But if we don't think their rules are fair, we'll still give the money back, knowing we'll get our money back later. So early on, and I learned this from my friend Jimmy Holzman of Ace Tickets in Boston, early on, when Ticketmaster wasn't quite and Live Nation weren't quite giving refunds, if our customers asked for it and it was a postponement and they hadn't come up with a new date yet, we still gave them their money back. Or we didn't just say, like StubHub just gave credit. We didn't do that. We gave them their money back. Now, most people just held on to their tickets because they still wanted to go. But if they needed the money and we could do it, we did it because we thought it was the right thing to do. And our customers are really important to us.
Sure.
So
Relationships.
They need to know that if they buy a ticket from them, they're safe. It's not like there's no,
I would feel like that's the value of doing business with you.
Yes.
Is that there's some trust factor.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Anybody who knows me will say, if I say I'm going to do something, I do it if I can.
Well, you mentioned promoters a minute ago. I'm sure you're talking to event coordinators, operators, promoters. What challenges are you expecting folks like those to encounter in the next couple of months as you talk to them and we start to come back online as a society?
So I think Live Nation, Ticketmaster, which they're the same, and AEG will start putting a lot of concerts on sale and a lot of events on sale in March.
Okay.
Maybe even, they're slowly starting to, like every day something else is going on sale for a future date, but it's not ramped up fully yet. The venues and the arena, the venues, the promoters, there's a new, the government is coming up with a rescue.
Yeah.
Grants up to 45% of their revenue from 2019 with a cap of 10 million. They can apply for that. It's not quite out yet. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but a lot of the smaller venues and even the medium, at least they have a chance of getting up to $10 million free back from the government.
Are promoters getting confident now? Like, is there a sense, hey, we're coming, it's getting closer, it's getting closer?
Well, I think everybody is. I think the world is.
Sure.
The only fears are when you hear about the South African mutation or London, but it seems like the vaccines are still going to work.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm praying nothing changes, but this went longer than I thought. Like in March, I would have bet we would have had we would have had football games in LA outside with 25 to 50% fans. If you would have asked me that in March, I took that bet.
Yeah.
I assumed that was going to happen, and I was wrong. But luckily, we'll be able to stay. And where you said earlier that we'll be stronger. Yes, we'll be stronger because we'll be more efficient. Yes, we'll be stronger because I think the pent-up demand is going to be huge. But also, I do believe that some competitors probably had to take other jobs or go into other careers because it's been a year.
Yeah.
Will they come back? I don't know. Not as quickly.
I wonder if there's a value in the relationships you've built over, let's say, 40 years. Now that like when this all comes back, those people that you've built those relationships, you guys build back together.
Yes. Listen, my biggest contacts and my best relationships, we still talk all the time. We've become friends over the years.
Yep.
As far as clients, we're not as responsive as we were because there's not as many of us, but we've still been trying to keep in touch. Obviously, we sent, instead of giving gifts this year, we did a donation to the paralyzed veterans,
Hmm.
and we bought 1,000 turkeys for the underprivileged.
Oh, nice.
Put that on our card because we really didn't have the manpower to send all the gifts out, and it's hard to give a gift when you're bleeding like this, and in some cases it can be poor taste. So we donated the money instead.
Yeah,
Uh,
I wonder, there's a lesson in that for young people getting into business now, right? That want to follow in your footsteps or my footsteps or
yeah.
anything. The relationships matter, and if you could articulate that, talk
Never,
about how important that's been for your career.
your word is everything. Never burn a bridge, and treat people the way you want to be treated. I mean, if you're honest and you do what you say and you're reliable and you're consistent, the tortoise always beats the hare. I mean,
Because it
all
keeps
you got to
going.
do is, if you're young, go look up the tortoise and the hare. The tortoise always wins. Just this consistent, stable guy. Now, in this world of internet and what happened in the last 2 days with AMC and
Yeah,
GameStop,
stop, yeah.
okay, you can make there's some hares that win, but in general, if you want to have a business, not a one-off, you just have to keep doing the right things, and it karma works. It comes around, and I do believe our customers will come back, and they'll call us first.
Maybe even stronger.
That's my hope. It'd be
Yeah.
really, it would be really nice.
Uh,
Um, and I really, really want to experience one more Laker championship. So please, all the powers that be, get that vaccine out by May.
well, my sense is that there's going to be fans there. I don't know if it'll be full capacity, but I'm my real hunch there's going to be fans there,
That's fine.
which
I'll take
means tickets.
means I get to go. I'm still a fan. I'm still
Yeah,
a fan. I want to see a Charger game too with Herbert.
you did.
No, I want to.
Oh, okay.
I want to next year. I mean this year, later in the year.
He can play, man. He can play.
They have more talent than most teams. I'd say
Yeah.
top 5 in talent. They still have some money, and they just need to have a little luck with injuries. Derwin James, you need to be healthy.
It's a huge thing. You mentioned football, and you said the Super Bowl is not a big part of your business. How big of it for?
It used to be, by the way. It used to be the biggest part of our business.
Yeah,
But it's one of the biggest parts of it. The biggest for us always has been, and for most big local brokers, even though we do national events, when you have season tickets for something, you get that for the playoffs.
okay.
Football, you don't. You do for playoffs, but you don't get that Super Bowl. You
Yep.
don't get the World Series. You don't get that national championship thing. Well, normally we still sell, we still have sold a few hundred Super Bowl tickets every year. This one's a little different because, we're still here. It's on the other coast.
Yep.
The tickets are in pods. They started off more expensive. As soon as COVID happened, the tickets were more expensive than any Super Bowl ever, at around 5,000, 5,500 to get into the building.
And you're coming off a rough year.
And now then it jumped to about 10K to get in for a short period of time. Well, maybe 8. Okay, for 8, 9, 10 for a short period of time when they announced who was going to be in it, because obviously Tom Brady locally in Tampa. It's a great matchup. It's going to be
Home.
what a game. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's only 14,500 tickets, and most of those aren't going to be resold.
Yep.
So it's a supply and demand issue.
But you want it to be a success because it's a success for your business. Then at the end of the day, if that starts to grow and there's success,
I want everybody to do well. I've never gone, I'm not, I always want everybody to do well. I'm not somebody who I have to do better than you. I just have to do what I need for me.
Yeah.
And I've been lucky, and life's been good, and you can tell I'm in love.
He's dancing as we're doing this interview.
Well, that's because I sit on a ball. I'm not really dancing. I'm hopping, or I'm bouncing. Great family. I'm. Yes. Do I want to get out of the house more? Yes. Am I bouncing to get to a live event? Absolutely.
Sure.
I cannot wait. I
Hey, wait,
almost
let me ask you something. Best live event you've ever been to? You would have a lot of great experiences. Best live event you've ever been to?
okay. Well, the best concert for me was the Stones
Oh,
at the Echoplex, which was a 400 seat venue in LA.
which tour?
I can't remember the name of
Not
it.
Voodoo Lounge.
No, no,
Okay.
I can't tell you.
Okay.
It was two or three. They also played the Anaheim Pond, and they had the one with the tongue pit. They had a tongue pit.
Yeah. Okay.
They got in the tongue pit in Anaheim, and that was amazing because he's all the way around you. They're all
So
the way
the
around.
Stones are your best concert, sporting event.
Probably the Lakers championship game 7 in Staples. I think that's 2012.
Okay.
2010.
Yeah, 10. I
Yeah,
think.
because it was a championship,
Yeah.
and no, it was 10. They lost in 8. I flew to Boston for Game 5 when they're down 3-1. I fly there for Game 5, and they are down by like 45 points at halftime. It was like, oh my god, it was the worst experience ever. And everybody's wearing green, by the way. It is a sea of green in the whole city. It was
Not
that was
good for a purple and gold guy. So let's talk about the near term future. I'm wondering about these events as they come back on board and everything. I've read something about something called a vaccine passport. Is that something you expect to see? What are you hearing from operators on how they're going to handle all this? Is it just different?
right. I don't know. I know that Ticketmaster has created the ability to do it, and I know that venues do. However, I don't know if they've developed it to the sense where if somebody's already taken, because I haven't taken a vaccine yet, and I have some friends who have, and my parents take it early February.
Okay.
But by the way, I thought about saying I'm dyslexic, and I'm really 65 instead of 56, but I didn't think it would go through. So I don't know, but it doesn't seem like they're registering on any kind of site who's taking it and who's not taking it. But I would imagine the government has everybody who's taking and keeping track of it.
My sister got the vaccine and she's got a card.
Okay, so
So
that card probably does it have a number on it?
yes.
Okay, so they'll probably at some point, and probably not necessarily in Texas, but in California, say in order to go into the venue. But it's all timing because what if if you have herd immunity,
Yeah.
okay, or if you've taken the vaccine, what do you care? If you've taken the vaccine, why do you care if somebody else who didn't take it goes in to the
This
venue?
seems like a short-term thing that may have to live and exist because in 2024, it's not. Hopefully, for gosh sakes, yeah. Hopefully, it's not going to matter.
Probably is a one-time thing.
Yeah. So I imagine it's a short-term solution. What technologies are you using these days that help you out in your business? Because I'm sure you've always got to keep up.
Really just our website,
Yep.
And cloud services,
Yep.
but there's no.
Have you thought about an app? Do you have an app?
We're that's going to be built with this new company.
Gotcha.
We had an app, but a truly functional that works on all of the sites. That should happen. We should have that within 6 months, and we should have done it a year ago.
So you've taken me through this story. We've gone from you coming up in this business and everything to this last year, which has been very tough, and then the world hopefully coming back online. I'm just wondering, first of all, for you as a guy who I feel like really hustles, how hard was it to sit still a little bit in the last year? I'm seeing you bouncing on this ball. How tough was it for you?
I'm in an interview, so that gets my juices flowing. Yeah, I'm pretty energetic, but I think I've mellowed in my, I think I've mellowed in the last few years.
Oh, this interview was happening 30 years ago.
Oh, more ADD, more interruptions, thinking about 5 things at once. I think I've mellowed a bit, but I'm not mellow.
Yeah.
I would, but easier going.
Yep. Yeah. But it must have been tough for you to sit and watch this happen.
Wait. The first few months, it was because of the timing of where I am in my life, and my fiance is a makeup artist for major TV shows.
Okay. Yep.
So when I'm dating her, she's working 70 hours, 60, 70 hours a week, 3 weeks a month. So it's
Yep.
hard to see her.
Yep.
Well, the first 3 months of COVID, wow, I get to see her a lot more. We're living together. We're
Yeah. So things are good.
yeah. And I'm like, and then it kind of hit me like, wait, this is not short term.
Yeah.
And it weighed on me a bit, but you know, I'm very fortunate. I don't have to worry about where my next meal is or
Yeah.
my mortgage because I've always saved my whole life. And again, don't spend more money than you make. Save money for a rainy day. You should always try and save for a rainy day. Um, I just, I always lived under my means, and I still do. Because things aren't important. People and relationships are. So that's my life lesson for this
It's a good
podcast.
one, I think. It's a good
Yeah,
one.
I mean, it's just the truth. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not what you have; it's who you've affected and who you've loved and who's loved you. So anyway, so I was happy. Then I got antsy, and then I just, for some reason, I still am busy. Um, we still do some planning. We still do some work,
Yeah.
but I still get lots of emails and texts, and I don't know. Like I couldn't tell you every day what I'm doing, but I'm busy almost all day long. Except for at nighttime, I have seen every Netflix show that there is. So, do you have a good one to watch? Because
We've
I'm
all
always
seen.
out.
I just finished watching the right stuff on Disney,
Okay.
which is that's very good. It's on the National Geographic portion of Disney. We've watched we
Disney.
watched Bosch, all of Bosch, which is set where you
I
are.
watched 3 seasons of Bosch.
Yep.
I liked it.
Yeah, that's out where you are. But yeah, we've all seen all the shows. So I'm wondering if for a guy like you who's got all this energy, who's motivated, and you go through the pandemic and then you realize, wait, things aren't happening. At that moment, what kept you motivated?
Well, I mean, you still know it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
still know it has to open at some point. But
Yeah.
the other thing, things I cannot control don't control me.
How do
Meaning,
you do that? What do you, is it some sort of,
it's just like, what am I going to do? All you can do is prepare the best you can, try the hardest you can. But if things are out of your control, what are you going to do? It's like sports. I mean, somebody can make the worst shot that ever happened. Raja Bell, I'm in Phoenix. I'm first row behind the bench. Because I'm a big Clipper fan too. And
okay.
the Sterling family, even though he has an interesting, colorful reputation,
Yeah.
they treated me very well. They
Okay.
appreciated I was their best customer.
Okay.
And I actually I got tickets for what's his name? Oh, anyway, when the game that Jack Nicholson went of the Clippers,
Okay. Yep.
I got the guys James Brooks. I got James Brooks the tickets. We all sat in the first row behind the bench, and the Clippers are up 3-1. It's game 5, and with like 1 or 2 seconds at the buzzer, Raja Bell makes a 3-pointer and beats us, and then they go on to win the series. That would have been the first time the Clippers went to the third round.
Yep.
That was the year Dallas Mavericks went to the finals, and
Yeah.
you would have never expected that to happen.
That was a good
The
Clippers
Clippers
team.
might have gotten there. It was a good Clippers team. That was the Elton Brand 25-10 stats. Chris Kaman had a great year.
Yeah.
Sam Cassell, Katina Mobley, Singleton, etc. Anyway, they had a good team. I don't remember the question.
Well, it's about motivation, and I think you've answered it. It's one of those things where you just do everything in the world you can.
That was about you can't control things. So you
Yeah.
can't control if somebody makes a buzzer beater, but
Yeah.
it goes both ways. Derek Fisher made a shot with .04 for the Lakers to get them to the finals, and that made me a lot of money. And I met Derek Fisher, and I said, Derek, you made me a lot of money. Call me. I owe you 2 free tickets for whatever you want. He never called.
Oh, really?
He never called, but I did offer.
I'll be sure to let him know to watch the podcast.
He didn't do it for me, but I appreciated it.
No, I think that's an interesting lesson, though, is there are things that are out of your control and that you can't do anything about. And to have angst about those is sort of useless, right?
Counterproductive. Counterintuitive. I mean, it's intuitive, but it's counterproductive. There's not, I mean, what are you going to do? Just make the best of every situation.
And save money.
Yeah. Yeah. Save money, invest. If you don't invest risky if you can't lose it, be smart. But invest if you can, live beneath your means, save money for a rainy day, because this is a very unique situation where the government bailed us out.
Yeah.
I've never seen, first of all, we've never seen a pandemic like
It's
this.
once a century.
I've never seen the government bail everybody out.
Yeah.
Not fully, but a lot of people out. And I'm trying to say that with sensitivity for the people who are still suffering and hurting.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
This is awful. I've tried to help who I can and who's close to me, but anyway, I wish you guys all the best. And it's going to get better. I do believe. I'm a half full guy, though. I always believe the glass is half full. So.
I really believe that. In fact, I think that's going to be the title of this episode: "A Half Full Guy."
Oh, great. Barry, the corny half full guy.
Oh, you added corny. I don't think corny, but again, thank you so much for your time, your energy, your expertise, and sharing all that with us.
And thank you, because you're really good at this.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, bud. Thanks again to Barry Rudin of Barry's Tickets. To his credit, through a near year's storm of negativity, he remains a bright, beaming source of energy and positivity. It's hard to do, but getting to know Barry, you can see why. And as a reminder, folks, if you're listening and enjoying, please like and subscribe to our podcast, and feel free to reach out with feedback and ideas for future guests. I can be reached at NBA Bo at NBA BEAU on Twitter, or get in touch with Sports Business Classroom on Twitter at Sports Biz Class. SPORTSBIZCLASS. You can reach us either way. And once again, thanks so much for listening.